Welcome back to another segment of Mompreneur Conversation. I am Michelle Wilson, your host, and I'm really excited with our guest, who is Genessis Assulin, and she is the co-founder of Unfiltered. And we're going to just have a conversation. Today's topic is all about, can we have it all as mom entrepreneurs or professionals? We are balancing kids, life, work, and relationships. So we're going to be talking about dating. How do you do all that? And so let me just tell you a little bit about Genessis. As I mentioned, she is the co-founder of Unfilter, a dating app with unique features that just launched in the US in 2021. And she's been an entrepreneur for most of her adult life. And she is passionate about improving the lives of others through innovative use of new technology. She was a leader introducing cutting-edge captivation treatment machines to the health and wellness industry in Louisiana, and has been focused on streamlining a variety of business processes since. Genesis is inspired daily by her two daughters and her son. In her free time, Genesis loves to practice yoga, travel, and visit flea markets. So welcome,
Hi,
Genesis.
Michelle.
How are you doing today?
Great. I'm excited to talk to you. We
I
have
am.
a lot in common, a lot of parallels in our lives. So.
Yeah, we were just speaking in the green room, you know, it's amazing. And that's why I'm really excited about our conversation. So before we get started, I always like to start off, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
So fun. I don't know if you can see from here. I could tilt my camera up just a little bit.
Okay.
And do you see these things from my ceiling?
Yes, they're beautiful.
No, these straps.
Mm-hmm.
That is a trapeze. So fun fact is I do a yoga trapeze and kind of do some acrobats quite often in my living room.
How fun. And it's really about that self-care as a mom, right? Something you love to do. And does it give you peace of mind and inner peace doing that? I mean, it is
Well,
like a little dangerous doing
it is,
it.
but once I do a lot of inversion, so being upside down is actually very therapeutic. And once you reverse flow your blood flow, it can ease stress, depression. It's inversion is it's a lifesaver for me. I'll just say that.
So did
And
you
it's a
take
great
lessons?
workout, and it's fun, and it's just neat. Not many not many people do it, but
That sounds like so much fun. And so did you take lessons to do that, to have the courage
no,
to
I'm
actually
just self-taught. I took the trapeze off. That's just the straps.
Okay.
So then I have to, maneuver, put that up. But no, 7 years I've just been doing some crazy things. That's fun fact.
Well, thank you for sharing that fun fact. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and jump in. I want you to just really share a little bit about your story. I was really fascinated. I just feel like you're beauty and grace, but I know that in the background, you are dealing a lot in life. So can you just share a little bit about your story?
Well, I have 3 children. I have my oldest, 24, who I was telling you earlier, she's graduating. Finally, graduating. She'll have her second degree. She's graduating next week. She'll be finished, and then she'll be going off to hopefully a doctoral program. We'll see. That's the plan. Then I have a 19-year-old who is in the beauty industry in school, and I also have a 12-year-old son who fills my time with travel baseball and football in between everything else. So I've been single now for about 7 years, and most of that 7 years I've dealt a lot with my middle daughter, who is a medical needs. I guess that's the way to put that. She just has a rare illness that she acquired at 12, and it's been very challenging, in and out of hospitals and surgeries hundreds and hundreds of times. Up until 2 days ago she was in the hospital. So trying to be a single mom, raise a 12-year-old, go to sports, get an older daughter through college, start a company, work for companies, and maintain some sense of normalcy is it's challenging.
I can totally relate. We had a conversation. You talked about having a laptop in the hospital room, and I so related because I also have a close son who's been battling a chronic illness for 12 years. So I felt like we had this kindred spirits. It's like you didn't have to say anymore. I really understood
Yeah.
what you're going through. So how through this period of time, the 7 years with your daughter handling her illness, and then you said you launched a business during that time also, and you just recently started a business. How do you balance that with peace? Because I know sometimes it's with moms, we get overwhelmed and exhausted at times. So what do you do? I mean, you talked about your trapeze, how that kind of helps you
That's
balance.
that's my like escape. But balance is a tough word, because to me, balance means that you got it all figured out by 5 o'clock. It doesn't work that way. You're still sitting at the laptop in your car watching a football practice, in the hospital waiting room. You're running a mortgage company at the same time through in real time, and the laptop never leaves your lap.
All right.
So you have to figure out how to make it all work, and you just do. It could be staying up till 2 in the morning, knowing that you have to kind of make your own rules, because there's not rules when it comes to being a single mother, running companies, running businesses, and raising children and a medical needs child. There's not a rule book for that.
Right.
It's hard. And then to try to think about dating.
Where do you have time, right? Where do
Yeah.
you have time to date, especially? And you touched on balance, and I also have that belief about balance. There really is no such thing as balance, because we're always on this tight wire, right? We're always, you know, trying to figure it out. So I like to say, I want to achieve harmony, because I feel, even though I know I have these challenges, I don't know if it's the same for you, but because of these challenges, I do things to help me stay in harmony, keeping me focused on what is really important. So we touched on dating a little
Which
bit.
is what do you do for your harmony?
What do I do? Well, I have like rituals, especially in the morning. I love, you know, meditating, praying. When things are getting really, really out of hand, I read a lot. I'm a vivid reader, music. I love working out. One of my favorite things I love to do, I haven't done in a while, hot yoga. I love hot yoga.
Oh, I haven't tried the hot yoga. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
hot yoga is a very, your talk about mind. It's really about our mindsets, right? Being optimistic and positive, and just really, it's a mind. When you're in a hot yoga room, it's all about, and you have that rush. You talked about that flow of the of blood flowing. You said
Yes.
inversion. It's kind of like that in hot yoga, because you're in this room that's really hot. So those are kind of
Interesting.
some of the
I'm
things
gonna
that
have
I
to try it.
do.
I've been scared too, because I'm claustrophobic. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It's so physiological. Like, if you take care of your body and it will take care of your mind. They have to work together, or you're just a chaotic mess.
Yes.
And I've seen both sides of Genesis, where she's like in balance and not in balance. And the physical aspect of not working out, or not going to the gym, or not going upside down, I can tell the difference
Right.
for
So
sure.
tell me a little bit more. I want to go dig a little deeper. We talked about dating, and I
Mhm.
know that you shared with me we've met a few times in passing and so forth, but the last time you were just talking about your experiences, not only finding time to date, but when you do find time, is really the quality of the relationship, right? And you talked about catfishing. So I want you to share a little bit, what does catfishing mean? And, if you could just share with us, I know you actually said you had a couple experiences. And so I would love for you to share, what it is and how did you like kind of overcome that challenge with catfishing?
Well, catfishing is obviously an online dating, or those platforms. You're either the person is not, their photo is not who they are. They can be using a person's total different identity to create fake profiles to talk to you and create those relationships. Or it is who you're talking to, but it's a fake version of themselves, whether it's a picture from 1992 when they had hair, or 30 pounds skinnier, or it could have been photoshopped. Like, a lot of women will photoshop their photos to the point of they're not recognizable. So, being single, first of all, you don't have a lot of time, because I barely have time.
Right.
when you're spending most of your time vetting the profile, and it's funny. I was watching an interview last night with Dan Brazilian, one of the most famous single people there is right now, and he was talking about his dating experiences, and he would have to have a team vet his potential dates because the time it took to see if those were real people. Because what you do is you get their name, you hop off of that platform, you go find them on Facebook, you dig through 50 albums back to their Christmas in 1992 to see if that's the photo that they used. I've just spent 30 minutes just to validate if that person on this dating site is even close to who they are in social media. Who has time to do that for every potential match? And I would do that before I even swiped. So I'd pause, get off, vet, do your research. Like, this is pointless. Like, I don't have much time, and then I'm wasting it just to prove that you are even real. So,
And also being, as I would say, as we mature women, it's hard because there's not really places where we can go, right, to meet people, meet others. And so I find that challenging also, just really being able to go out and meet, and going back to time. Time is really of essence, especially when you're raising children and running a business, is just finding that time. So I can't imagine, like I said, when you're on online dating, you're going through profiles, but even if you decide to go out in the world to meet someone, you know, where do you go to meet,
online dating it's not going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Like,
right.
this is pretty much the catalyst of being single, and you will at some point most likely be on a dating site. I've, not to mention, when you are limited on time and you do have kids, you're going to get a babysitter. You're going to go buy a new outfit. You're going to fix your hair. You spend 2 hours getting ready, show up for a date that's a complete bomb because that's not who we represented each other to be. Are you going to finish the date? Are you going to be cordial? Yes, but you just wasted my time.
Time,
That I would have rather just ordered pizza with my kids at home. And so that became kind of a norm. Like, I'd rather just stay home with my kids than waste my time that to me I could be using to do something productive with my children or business.
So tell me a little bit more about now. How did you come to, like you said, you were having these experiences on these dating online and so forth like that. And I know that your background is in mortgage and finances and so forth. So what gave you I mean, I kind of have an idea, but why another app? Why dating app?
So I had a pretty severe situation off of a dating app where I was catfished, but it was catfished to the point of I wasn't even sure I was going to survive the incident. And I flew out of town to meet the person that was not who they said they were. At any time you're at a point where you're thinking you have to text your children that you may not come back.
Yes.
And then you feel so irresponsible. You let all logic go out the window when it comes to looking.
Absolutely.
You can be very intelligent in business and stupid in love. And because the risk factor was so high, that shook me up for a long time. Because I was extremely, I don't really talk about it much, but it was a very extremely traumatic experience for a few days. And I didn't trust a lot of dating apps. And then over the years, you kind of get numb to it. And then you have a few more incidences of dating apps, catfish, but they're innocent. They're like, okay, he's 30 pounds heavier. He doesn't have any hair. These are innocent type of catfishing, not ones that are going to take my life.
Right.
But why have any of it? Why do you have any of it?
So through your experience, is there anything that you've been able to do to help you avoid those situations? Like you said, you don't want to give up on dating, right? But at the same time,
that's why having this app it's a unique perspective because it doesn't exist in the dating app world. It's such a common sensical thing. You would think it would exist, but I think we live in a narcissistic type of fake facade society. So not being able to upload photos of yourself to a dating app is people are like, what? how can I fake who I am now? We're like, well, you can't. Because if you want to fake yourself, then you can go back to the other dating apps. We need a platform of safety for not just safety, it's just an overall chance to find love that's authentic. So you cannot upload a photo. You can't upload your neighbor's photo. You can't upload somebody's filtered photo. You can only take the photo from the camera as it opens up. But everybody on the dating app is on the same playing field. So you're not competing against somebody that's, these other dating apps, you think they're fake people. So your beauty standard baseline, we're all on the same playing field now. So it gives you a sense of like, okay, we're all real. We're all here without our filters on, and we look like we're going to look when we show up on the date. So that's really why we created this, as a way of eliminating that, and it doesn't exist actually in any apps.
That's pretty phenomenal. So basically, you have to take the picture real time.
Yeah,
and
they're all date stamped.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Now, if you want to go upload photos, we do have a lifestyle feed. It's kind of a news feed that you can add photos of your cooking, anything that's a lifestyle off your camera roll. But your profile itself, at least is. If you go through our app and you see, you're just like, oh, this is what real people look like. They have wrinkles. They have.
And you cannot be on your app, I'm assuming, without the profile picture. I mean, is that built in? Like, you know how sometimes you have the option of having a profile picture. In order to be, part of the app community, do you have to basically take that photo right then and there?
Yeah, and that's not the only safety feature is the photo. Our technology is built with an 8-point backend system. That this technology was built for another project that identifies the user not just from their photo, but based on their email address, their name. It's pulling information from multiple sources to validate who they are. Because you can turn the camera around and take a picture of your table.
True.
And it can validate you because guess what? Your email address is you.
Okay.
The other information it's pulling is you. And then maybe you'll realize then, next time you get on, you'll feel comfortable enough to turn the camera around and take your photo.
Wow. So go back to, so you have the features that are, the safety features in the app. But what about, as you said, you talked about this experience that you had. Mm-hmm. Is there any tips that you can share with, our audience as far as when you are actually dating from an app? Like, is there things not only just from the features of your app, but what have you learned over the few years with these platforms and so forth, like going to meet a person for the very first time?
Do your homework. I mean, and if our platform can help you feel secure and know that if this app existed 6 years ago, it would have said this email address does not match this person, doesn't match this person. They're not a verified user, because verifying your face isn't verifying your identity.
Yes.
So a lot of dating apps will do a face verification just to prove you're not a bot. Well, okay. We're not trying to prove you're not a bot. We're trying to prove that your name is Steve Jones as well. Right. So I've learned that there has to be a way for us to create a safe environment for dating, because at the end of the day, if something happens to us, then it's just a scary environment. And people get off of dating apps because of this.
Right.
And we're trying to let people know that you can get back on, that it's going to be okay. There is going to be a safe space, and we're going to be the ones to create it.
That's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So for you personally, as far as dating is concerned, what are you doing now? Raising your kids and so forth. Like, how do you find the time to actually, like you said, we talked about time before, but how do you find time to date?
Oh, that's a trick question. It's challenging. It's one of those where you have good days and bad days. You can plan a date and they can cancel the next morning depending on I don't know what happens in my world from day to day. So, um, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to find it.
So it sounds like you're not giving up on love, basically,
Yeah.
or giving up on, relationships, even though you've had these experiences. There
Yeah.
is someone out
Because
there.
I don't believe that humans are meant to go through life alone.
Yes.
That's not my philosophy. I think that you can go through 100 bad relationships, and I still believe that we are meant to thrive with a partner.
Yes.
Mhm.
A partner, a soulmate, I like to say. So do you look for, when you are like the profiles that are on there, is there something that you look for when you're on the dating apps? Like the type of person that you're looking for, not just from the physical, because as you said, even though we have that physical part, but what about, a person's their interest, and are they, family oriented? Are those things that you're also looking for when you're on these apps?
So you think that you should probably read the profile first, but I'm kind of a visual person as well.
Okay.
It's not my strongest suit, but I'll admit it. Um, Attraction is first for me. Not first, but it's everybody's attraction. Like, you're going to stop and look at a profile. I'm going to look at the physical first, and then I'm going to read. So I'm not going to read every person's profile, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But to match with somebody, then you can go back and vet. But you can get stuck in the world of a queue full of matches that nobody ever even asks you out. You just are stuck in this loop. So we tried to fix everything that we hated about dating apps. We tried to fix it here. So we have limited matches. You can't keep a Rolodex of matches in your queue because it's the society is on to the next. Then you'll forget. You're not going to create a meaningful relationship with the few people that you are chatting with. So we've limited that as well. So to match somebody new, if you reached your quota, you're going to have to give up somebody.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Okay.
that's requiring you to invest in those matches you have and really think about the decision of who you want to give up to be able to swipe more.
So it sounds like your app is really helping to match for more meaningful relationships. As you said, it's not just a, you know, kind of, how can I say, like I'll say a player, but a person that just wants to date a whole bunch of folks. You're really looking to create those meaningful relationships. And I've heard positive things that people have found love and marriage from those dating apps. So can you share a little bit more? I know you talked about the identity, you talked about the profile, uploading, not uploading, you can't upload a
Mhm.
profile picture. But what else is kind of sets you apart from the competition? Because I know there's a lot of apps out there.
Yeah, so one thing too, which for somebody like me is helpful because being in business, you would think I'd have it all together, and I don't. I'm really bad at remembering that I have an appointment, which is what I do. So this app allows you to send an in-app date request, and you get to choose. You can choose from where you want to meet them. It's geo to your location, so you can send a request. Starbucks at 5 o'clock Saturday, accept or decline. First of all, it takes the weirdness out of asking for a date. And then once you accept that date, it goes straight to your Outlook and it puts it on your calendar.
Wow.
Yeah, so it calendars it for me. Otherwise, I will forget and I'm not going to go to my phone and put a date app in. I just know me. So once I accept it, it does it for me. So it's you're merging into creating a date, which doesn't happen in dating apps. You're stuck and nobody ever asks you out. But if
So
there's
does it make it easier for you? Do you ask, or do you wait for the gentleman to ask you? Like you said, going for coffee seems like it's something very simple, very easy to do.
I
So
used to be old fashioned and think
yeah,
that men should chase the women. I mean, I don't know, it shows your age, I guess. But now I'm realizing the times have changed a lot, that men actually expect women to show interest. So I'm trying to learn. I'm learning. Um, I'd prefer to be asked out. That's just me. But
I kind of feel the same way. I'm a little old fashioned, but now, especially as women of profession, we know what we want and so forth. So why can't we go out there and ask? Because I know for me, I've done lot of interpersonal work and so forth. So there are qualities and core values that I have and established. So, I'm going through that period too. It's like, okay, if I see someone that I like, and why not, just ask them
Would
out.
you send a date request first?
What it's something I think now where I'm at in my life now, I would, but if it was like a few years ago, I'd probably say no, I'd be just waiting
Right.
around. But now I'm noticing that like you said, time is of essence, and I really don't have time to just be with people and so forth like that. So
Mhm.
now it's like, if I see someone that I'm interested in, like, I think from a dating app, I'd be more confident, more easier to do than maybe, someone I met on the street or something like that. So I
Yeah,
think I
and you
would
can do
have
it
more
all through the
courage.
app. You don't have to exchange phone numbers, so it gives you a little more confidence to send a request for coffee for Thursday at 2, and then they can modify it and say, no, I could do 4, and y'all can exchange it. You click it, it goes to both your calendars. You don't even have to think about him again until Thursday when it reminds you to go.
That's so cool. I really like that. I mean, it sounds like it would be, I know for me, it would probably be something that I could, like I said, it's not as much, it's kind of like setting an appointment, right? We're just setting an appointment and let's meet type of
Yeah, and
thing.
then you're kind of bound to it too.
Right.
Bound for concrete, but you can actually go because how many times you just don't go? I mean, I've
Right.
been on dating apps. I'm like, been on here for months. I haven't been outside on a date once or gone out or so.
Yeah. I haven't been on a dating app in years. I remember when they first started coming out, and I was back in the days bold enough, like you said, you said about getting on a plane and taking that trip and flying and so forth like that. But now, as we're mothers too, so we have to think about our children, right? When we do those type of things. So I think it would be really great when
Yeah.
we can be the initiator and say, hey, let's meet here. So I think I like that idea a lot. Yeah.
And not and you would know this having a child that needs more attention. You have to be more particular in your dates. You're not just gonna bring anybody around. You're looking for a partner, a potential partner. You're not looking. I'm not 22. I'm not looking to go out to the club and come home at 4 in the morning. I'm looking.
Absolutely. I know that for myself, it's the same way. I really, even when I'm dating, I won't necessarily. Well, I haven't dated. Actually, it's been 12 years. I have to confess, it's been 12 years because I've been really focusing, as you said, on my son's needs and building my business. However, in the past, I know that I wouldn't just introduce, when I was in the dating, just anyone to my kids. I would always keep it separate. So that's why it was always hard for me because I would keep my life separate, my dating life and my family life separate until I really knew that person was going to be someone that I wanted to be part of my life, right? So a lot of times, I was just juggling, going out on a date, getting to work on time, and then being there
Like,
for
I'm
my
sure
my
you want to invite them to the circus over here because this is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a circus. So it's felt like I, almost living a double life because
Yeah.
I didn't, because if I wasn't really sure about that person, I didn't want to introduce them to my children, and they maybe develop a relationship, and I didn't want to, like men in and out of their lives, basically, right? Because I really wanted a strong foundation for
You
my
feel
kids.
like you stopped even pursuing relationships because you put in your mind that they were going to have a hard time accepting your situation, so you just didn't even go there. And
Yeah,
in reality, you missed out on people that could have benefited your life or wouldn't have had a problem with any of it. But we talk ourselves out of it, thinking that we have to be I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost perfect. I'm almost ready. Once I'm perfect, then I can introduce somebody and date. Well, count. Not. I don't. That day is never going to come.
right.
You're never going to be ready. You're never going to have it all together. You're never going to slow down. So
And that's why I like to the point, like, okay, yeah, 12 years, like you said, I'm
you
getting
put it
ready to,
off.
yeah. So now it's like, things are really not going to, I won't say they're going to change, but now it's just making the decision of, how I want to date, who I want to date, and just taking that
You want to date your
plunge.
age, or do you date older? Do you date younger? You don't know.
Hey, yeah, well, that's a really great question. So in the past, I would date, I had a tendency of attracting younger men,
Well,
because
because you look like you're 35.
yeah, thank you. So going back to, I wasn't always the initiator, right? Because I was in old fashioned where, I just wait for, to be taken out, to be asked to go out. So I had a tendency of always, dating younger men. So now, like I said, haven't been in the dating field for a long time. So I really am not sure what I want, but I do know. I mean, I know what I want mentally, core values in a man, and whether that's a young man or an older gentleman, it depends. So what about you, Genesis?
I don't
Um,
even know anymore.
you don't even know anymore.
I've
So what
tried
it
it all.
did you
I've
used
done
to date?
old, young, huh? I
Did you
try to
use
get out of my box. I used to only want to date somebody that wore a suit every day and showed I had like in my mind what I liked. And then I was like, well, let me try something different. And I'm like, no, let me go back to this. I don't know. I think when you meet somebody, it's just going to probably not fit any of the molds that you put in place. Anyways, so
So let me ask you this. So when it comes to dating, like you said, that first date, that first interaction, do you go by, ooh, like the fireworks are going off, or that excitement, and you know how your that physiology, is that something that you tune into, or is it, the mind? And you talked about the suit. What is it, that really
oh,
attracts you?
I want it all.
You want it all, okay?
I do, and it sounds. I mean, I've I've been divorced twice already. Like, why can't I not have both? Why do I have to choose between chemistry and physical attraction and mental attraction? Why do I have to choose?
And that's what our topic is today. Is like, can we have it all? And
I
I
don't know.
agree with
I'm
you,
hoping.
right? Why can't we have it all? So
I'm
I
hoping.
I
I mean,
totally agree 100%. It is very possible to have it all. And it really starts off with just being open to dating again. Because I know for myself, I've been closed off for a while. So, is there anything else you would like to add to our conversation that comes to your mind? When we're talking about dating, and especially when it comes to kids and dating, is there anything there that you like to share with us about?
I think just like you said, the balance, that's the hard part because, I'm not, I was telling you earlier, I'm not cutting out construction paper hearts for my kids' PTA. Like, that's just not, if I'm married to work and if everything else in my life is so crazy all the time, I have to just remind myself that I don't want to look up and I'm 70 and like by myself and I wasted the best years of my life. So creating this app, I was really doing this for other women
Hmm.
to not, but it's really for me too. Like I wanted my life to be the basis for letting other women, men know that you can have it all, and we just have to figure out how to bridge that gap. And that's
Now, I know you said you from a personal experience, but were you seeing a trend with other women also, especially women who had children and careers and balances? Were you seeing that same trend with other women, like just really having finding that time to have it all and balance and so
yeah,
forth?
I do because I surround myself with other entrepreneurial women as well that are business minded, have their own businesses because that's who I look up to. I don't. My role models are my closest friends who are most of them have some sort of business of their own and either going through a divorce, trying. We have kind of the same commonality, and so it is a trend and finding a stopping point where business, like where you can business and work and kids stop and you begin, and
Hmm.
finding that area in between where that's the magic point, like the work and the love and this part in the middle is where we're all seeking.
Wow, that's beautiful. So when we're, as I was talking about, can have it all, what would be like your closing, comments that you would say about how we can have it all as moms? And even I know there's dads out there that have, kids. There's single dads out there. And well, actually, before closing comments, let's go back to. So you're on this dating app. So we're moms single with kids, and then I'm sure that there's men single with kids. So how do you handle that when you have two households, two different households? So
No, you'd be surprised how many men my age have little babies.
Wow.
So,
Really?
so then you're competing with, you've got to find somebody that has children. I mean, do you want to start over and, or it's hard because everybody's dynamic is so different. So, um, single dads, I mean, I date men with kids. That's not a problem.
Right.
But men, they sometimes just have little ones. And then you have to determine, are you in the same place?
Exactly. Because if you do basically create, have a relationship and decide to get married, that means you become a mother again to the young baby, right?
No, and you're like, I've been a mom for 25 years. That's
Yeah.
about
I think
time.
that too, right? So yeah. I mean, I won't even say how many. I've been a mom for 40 years. And it
Mhm.
feels like, I had when I was a teenager, and then I had when I was older in life. So it's like a 22-year gap. So I feel like I've been a mom all my life,
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been
now,
a mom since I was a teenager. So
right,
yeah, I had my daughter at 19. So I've been a single mom a lot. And a
right.
lot of those moments of single momhood are the reason that I am where I am as far as my work and my business and what I do, because I've had no choice but to be. I am everything to my kids. So I'm a little hard on them, not super super hard, but I want them to have. I want them to have it all. I may achieve it. I'm hoping I do. I really am hoping I do. I'm not giving up on it, but
Well, I think sometimes the best role model is just being that role model, right? Not so much telling your kids what to do, but showing them that you can do it. Still pursue it. I loved you shared earlier, that this is kind of my own words, that you're not perfect. I know I still, there's still, I always say my mess becomes my message, right? No matter what we accomplish in our journey, we're always learning new things and so forth like that. So just loving
yeah,
our,
and no excuses. Like it's easy for people to say I can't do this because, and I look at my girls like, I was working full time, going to school full time. You were a toddler, and I was a single mom. You're telling me you can't do what? you know. So then, once you stop allowing the excuses and to come in, to give reasons why you can't do something. And I did it to myself for a long time. I can't find love. I can't pursue this because I've got kids to raise. I have business to run. I have mortgages to write. I have football and baseball. So I had all the excuses too. And now that I'm focusing on stopping the excuses for myself, and I'm going to find it all. And this platform for the app is going to not just help myself. I hope to help many, many people
well,
find find a good balance.
I mean, I love what you're up to. I love the attitude, like you talked about can't and the excuses. And I know for me, it's not so much, what I can't do, is like what I can do. So I focus always, on the solutions, because life is going to always have obstacles and
Well,
problems and so forth like that. But I think it'd be so much funner now to have those problems and obstacles and enjoying it with a significant other, a partner. So I just really am excited about what you're up to, and just really making it more safe for women and also for men. The dating app is for
yeah,
it's
and
for
it's not
friends,
just
right?
seriously. I mean, the poor guys. I feel sorry for the men sometimes. They're
Hmm.
like, "That's not what she looks like." I'm like, well, I mean, she had a Snapchat filter on with puppy dog ears. What did you think? She was going to show up as a dog to your date? So it's both. I mean, the men they're tired of wasting money on dates, and they have just as much responsibility, and they have kids too, and they have stressors and jobs that are very demanding. It's not just, this is not built for women by any means. This is built for all of us. I just use myself as the baseline to, let's fix the broken system. Like, what's it going to take to fix it? So we spent a lot of time. We spent over a year and a lot of research to and interviewed multiple hundreds of people to come up with everything that we can do to fix everything that was broken. So we're excited about the journey, and I think it's gonna. We won't even recognize it a year from now. So
So is it actually the app? Is it live right now as we speak
it
for
is.
people?
It
So
is live, and
so
we focus a lot in the South right now because
okay.
majority of dating app users are in the South, believe it or not. But we're trying to get a footprint, obviously, in LA and across. I mean, we want to have a national footprint throughout the entire country. But we are live.
You are live, so you can actually share. Can you share with our audience like how you can find the lab and like how they can contact you if they have any
So it's
questions?
Unfiltered Dating. Our website is unfiltered.love. But we are just now kind of relaunching. COVID put a little hiccup on some of the efforts we were doing in the summer, but we're fast and furious, and we're getting users daily.
Well, I will definitely put your information, contact information, a contacts once our live feed is over. But I want to thank you for taking time out and sharing with us not only just about this amazing dating app, but just a bit about your experience and just life dating and kids and just being an example and inspiration for moms that we can do it. We can have it all. It's just really, you talked about it. It's based on a decision. You said, there is no such thing as can. What can we do?
There's a couple of meltdowns in fetal position crying on the couch.
Oh, yeah, of course, right? But then you get up, right?
You don't have a choice.
Yeah. So it's not that you're perfect. You dust yourself off and you keep going, right? Of course we're going to have meltdowns. We're human beings, right? And so I love that we can still be authentic in ourselves. But
Well, and that's all. That's so Unfiltered is real people, real love, and we're just trying to be authentic because we're all flawed, we're all broken, we're all a hot mess. It's just depending on what hot mess you want version of today. So,
well, thank you so much. I love that. Real people, real love. And we're all a hot mess, but it's just loving each other in our mess, right? And then supporting each other and championing each other so that we can be better versions of ourselves. So with that, thank you again, Genessis, for joining me today. And I don't know if there's any last comments you would like before we end our live today.
I thank you for taking the time out to talk to me today. It's been my pleasure. I absolutely love talking to you.
Thank you so much. And this is Michele Wilson with Mompreneur Conversation. And, until we see you next time, please, you are amazing. With that, bye-bye for now.